Welcome back. Again, this is the John McEntyre Show, and John mentioned that we have a special guest and a special announcement. So, John, who do we have?
Who is this? What is your name?
Bella.
Bella. Is your name Bella McEntyre?
Yeah.
We have Bella Rose McEntyre on the set with us to help us make a special announcement. We're at the end of the season, and which means that this is our last episode of the John McEntyre Show.
Yes.
It has been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We started in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to fulfill the goal of educating people financially. You're not being a good guest. Aren't you supposed to look that way? And so we had put goals down that I remember back in 2001 when we first started the program. We said if we could at least make it 1 year, we would be very happy.
Right.
And lo and behold, 10 years later, we're still sitting at the table.
Right.
It's not that we have lost our passion. We're just sometimes when it's time to, move on to other things.
Right.
Not saying that we're burning bridges or closing the doors or anything like that.
No.
It's just time to step back, reassess things, understand our why. We discussed the why in the first segment. And so looking at our whys, we had to, just reassess some things, and we do have other passions and other goals we do want to accomplish. And more information, just go to the website, johnmcintyre.com, and you will definitely see what we have coming up next. So was there anything you wanted to say?
No, nothing other than we've just really enjoyed being a part of so many people's lives and being able to meet new friends. We've been educated leaps and bounds as people are discovering new topics and things that we wanted you to feel like you were listening in at a conversation with some friends at the table.
Right. And that reminded me of something that someone asked, what made you do this particular type of program? I said, well, I remember reading in a book one time where it said, and it fitted our value system, which was being a giver. They said, always be a giver in all areas of life. And say one of the best ways of learning something is to what?
Is to teach it.
Is to teach it. And so I said, okay, I'll do as much as I can with teaching on personal finance, but it was a lot that I wanted to learn.
Right.
So I set up a platform to where I could bring in professionals and guests that would teach me, and at the same time would teach the audience about personal finance.
Right.
At first it was real estate, and then it all, blossomed out into full-fledged personal finance here. And so that's what we're all about. We are teachers. We'll never stop teaching. No matter what we're doing, we will always be teaching. It's just that now is the time to move on, and we have another little teacher that's coming up, coming up through the ranks here. And so we'll see what we can make happen with this one, right? And so before we end the program, I was thinking as we were preparing, I was thinking back, I was like, wow, 10 years.
Yes.
A lot of people that was involved. One of the biggest cheerleader that really I guess gave me that push to do this, because at first, like I said, I was like, I don't know. I don't feel I have the right to be on television talking about personal finance. The late David Allen.
Yeah, David Allen.
He was our first coach, mentor and coach, and he said, John, you can do it. We'll get on the set. And I said, oh, okay, so you're going to be involved? He was like, whatever you need for me to do. I said, okay, if you'll be my first guest. And we sit down in this studio, and we didn't have the table yet. And he and we talked for 30 minutes. And then we talked for another 30 minutes and another 30 minutes. And we did 3 shows. And the first one aired. And I remember watching it on the television. I was like, man, you stink. This is not going to work. What made you think you could do something like this? And so the second one came, and I called and told him, I was like, David, I don't know. He was like, John, everything's fine. He said, I had some friends over, and they watched the program, and they enjoyed it. He said, and I have a lot, he had that infectious laugh and all of that made everything okay. And then the second week, we received our first phone call.
Yes.
Someone said, I was watching the show. I just want to let you know, really enjoyed it. Happy to see that someone is willing to educate the public on personal finance. I'm like, okay, now I'm okay with it. And, you came on and shared your expertise in personal finance as a financial planner. And so 10 years later,
yes.
I mean, now we have a 4-year-old sitting here on the set with us. It was just you and I at first, and we were doing our editing and working on the program. And we just have a lot of people. I mentioned David Allen. I wanted to thank Hayes Moore.
Yes, Hayes.
One of our mentors also. You can't leave yet. You're still on the set, right? Mr. Hayes Moore, a mentor. Definitely the Charlotte Mecklenburg Public Access Corporation for providing the facilities and the equipment to be able to do the show. Our crew, go ahead.
We definitely want to thank some of our early coaches and teachers when it came to learning about production. TX Theatre Green, then you have
definitely.
Charlie Rexroad, you have Mr. Honeycutt, and you've got Dan Honeycutt and Linda Carr, and you've got Lawrence.
Calvin Lawrence. Oh yes, definitely.
Then there was Stan.
Stan Jacques, yes.
And Betty.
Betty Barnett, yeah.
There's just so many. We certainly don't want to offend anyone, so we just want to thank all of the Simpac family.
Yeah.
And then, as far as the community, the Charlotte community, the Realtors Association, then you have, the insurance professionals and the mortgage lenders and the banks. There's too many people to thank.
Yes, all of the guests that had come on over the years. Some of my favorite ones, you had Jared Kinberg, our attorney, who was my last minute clutch person. If someone canceled on me, I could call Jared at the last minute. Say, Jared, had someone to call. Could you, John? I'm there.
Yeah.
Just tell me what time to be there. Jay Parker.
Yes.
Who definitely shared a lot of a wealth of experience and knowledge on real estate investing.
Right.
Kimberly Herrick, which is our estate planner.
Yes. And then there was also, there was Thomas Mack, and then we also, our CPA firms that we had coming on. We've got so many people.
Yeah, so hopefully we did what we set out to do. We accomplished what we set out to do, which was give the public solid information and give them exposure to professionals that practiced every day, that still practice. All of our guests these were not authors or someone who did some research and were just good at performing. All of our guests they have offices, and you could visit them, and we received a lot of calls of appreciation of saying, I watched the John McEntyre Show and I saw you on there, and they were very grateful to know that everyone that they saw, they could call them and go sit down with them and talk. I personally think a lot of the viewers that gave me coffee, wanted to meet, and we would meet at a Starbucks or somewhere like that, and we would talk over coffee about their particular situations. And
right.
so
I remember Kim Herrick saying, someone wanted to just talk about was their will in order. Then there were people who were calling for accountants, and so we were happy to say yes, give Ron Vance's office a call.
Vance Flowhouse and Gardens, exactly. We want to thank them. So, we could sit here for hours thinking of people over the last 10 years, over 300 shows produced, and so we'll just leave it at that and Bella wants to give you your certificate of completion on the show just to thank you. So, I mean, what else is there to say? This is John McEntyre for the last time signing off. I want to wish everyone peace within their walls and prosperity within their palaces. What do you say? Peace?
Peace.
Peace. You gonna wave at the camera?